Good morning. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the June 18th annual meeting of the Board of Directors of the Environmental Facility Corporation. As the chair of the meeting, I will call the meeting to order and ask MJ to please perform a roll call.
Chair Lefman.
Here.
Director Westerman.
Here.
Director DeMarquis.
Here.
Director Krasansky.
Here.
And Director Corcoran.
Here.
I know the directors Leary and Zarowski are absent, but you have a quorum.
Great, thank you. We'll move on to the approval of the draft minutes from the May 21st, 2026 board meeting. May I please have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Wonderful. Are there any comments or discussion? Okay, we will move to a vote to adopt the minutes. Those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? The minutes are adopted. So kicking off today, as we move to the next item for the report of the chair. So I'll say excitingly, since we last met, there is officially a New York State budget.
Bravo.
So there are a number of really exciting things included in this year's budget that I'll touch upon, and I'm sure that President Coleman will as well. First, I'll say that the governor was able to secure record investments in clean water infrastructure, which is very exciting. As we've discussed before, the governor committed to a 5-year commitment of $3.75 billion for water infrastructure, which is incredibly exciting. And she delivered. In this year's budget, there's $750 million for water infrastructure. That includes $525 million for clean water infrastructure in the Clean Water Infrastructure Act, as well as the $175 million for water infrastructure projects to promote housing, and $50 million for water infrastructure projects to promote housing in rural communities. DEC is really looking forward to working with EFC to develop effective programs that equitably and efficiently distribute these fundings in the communities that need it most. And it is just such an important win for the mission of EFC, really, really exciting. In addition to the water quality funding, there was also a record environmental protection fund at $450 million, which includes $25 million from the Sustainable Future Fund. As we know, the Environmental Protection Fund is such a critical, and I'll call it a complementary fund to the funds administered by EFC to help support our communities, to protect our natural resources, and of course, including protecting our water resources. So that's incredibly important and really exciting. And I'll note that $25 million coming from the Sustainable Future Fund, that Sustainable Future Fund is $1 billion investment that is now included for 2 budgets in a row that will really help jumpstart and continued our path to fight climate change as a state and invest in affordability through energy efficiency and renewable energy, and really exciting and wonderful progress. The governor also included many resiliency highlights in her State of the State, and some of them came through here in the final budget, including a new $10 million grant program called the Resilient and Adaptive Community Grants, which is meant to really support disadvantaged and environmental justice communities to develop resiliency hubs to strengthen preparedness in advance of severe weather caused by climate change. The governor also, I'm personally very excited. We were able to secure an additional 45 staff members for DEC, which is critically, we're going to focus those 45 staff members on permitting, which obviously is really important and critical for these conversations to ensure that all the great projects that are funded are meeting the regulatory responsibilities and the needs. As well as once in a generation reforms to the State Environmental Quality Review Act. The governor has been very clear we need to be able to deliver on our affordable housing goals. And she advanced a proposal in this year's budget, which was negotiated with the legislature and included in the final budget, that will modernize SECRA. And in many ways really incentivizes doing the right thing by trying to make it easier to develop in previously disturbed areas. So this keeps housing out of natural areas that you might need some additional permits and environmental review, and focuses it on areas that are previously disturbed. That will help really expedite our ability to achieve our affordable housing in the state while avoiding impacts to our environmental resources. So it's a really exciting I will say, update and modernization of an important law, secret. And last but not least, in the budget, she also had included, and we were able to secure lifting the cap on rebates for the municipal zero emissions vehicle program, which is a great program that DEC has to support municipalities in transitioning their fleets to electric vehicles. Some other important, exciting things that we've got going on is DEC's Water Quality Improvement Grant program is out on the street right now. It's in the consolidated funding application, so those are due on July 31st. And the HAB Research Grant Program is also live with applications due on September 15th. I will say what WQIP has been such a great program that really helps holistically think about our water quality challenges and opportunities in the state. Our HAB Research Grant Program is a new program that is part of our HAB roadmap. I believe I've talked about that in previous meetings. Notably on HAB, our reporting tools went live the Friday before Memorial Day. So our HAB program, as we know, covers monitoring, research, reporting, data, education, outreach, and the HAB reporting is a great tool for the community to interact and for stakeholders to report HABs as they see them, and provides us really helpful data. And last but not least, we've got several different regulatory actions, as well as other things that are occurring with EFC. We have our Speedy's environmental benefit permitting strategy list that went out for notice on May 6th. We are also working with New EPIC on a new outline training to support asset management planning. There's also in the works. And of course, we are really grateful for our continued strong partnership with EFC on the community assistance teams. And there are a number of great coordinated community assistance teams, monthly Q&A webinars that are in flight right now. So a tremendous amount of really exciting work, some great victories in this year's budget, and wonderful partnership across the state family. Are there any questions on my report?
No, but I'm glad I live in New York.
Indeed. All right, well then I will move it over to the president's remarks.
You beat me. Sheesh. That's good.
I was prepared this meeting.
Yeah. And I made a note to mention WQIP if you didn't, because that's a great grant program that complements our water infrastructure grants. So it's really great when you can have projects that take advantage of both of those grant programs.
Indeed.
Speaking of which, out of the $3.75 billion in the 5 years and the 750 that were made available this year, EFC announced $425 million available for the water infrastructure improvement grants and intermunicipal water improvement grants. $425 million. The application period opened in June 11th, and closes July 27th, right before WQIP does. $425 million available. 127.5 of that for lead service line inventory or replacement. For those folks who did not, it's an expanded eligibility for those folks who didn't get the federal Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act funding. With respect to the housing money that Chairman announced, we are, as required under the budget language, EFC is currently working on developing the parameters, for the plan that we have to submit for approval by the Division of Budget for how that money will be spent. So that will be coming out at a later date, those dollars. The application period for the engineering planning grants, green infrastructure grant program, GIGP, and the green resiliency grants, GRG, that closed on Friday, June 12th. And for the GIGP and GRG, the $75 million that is available. And again, we had a joint application for those so that applicants apply for both programs, and then EFC determines what's the best program for them. So out of the $75 million available, we received 32 applications totaling total costs of $84.6 million. So for the $75 million available, 17 stormwater projects with a total requested of 66.4. And then there were 15 water meters requested with a total of 18.2 million. For EPG, we received 94 EPG applications totaling 4.725 in total project costs for $3 million available. That's all I have.
The word's out.
Yep.
Which is great.
Yeah.
And we'll be doing webinars along with DEC and DOH and some other partner agencies on the funding available currently that's out there for applications, as well as other funding available from partner agencies. And they will be coming in the next month, rest of this month into July.
Great. Any questions for President Coleman?
Gonna be busy.
Wonderful.
Good to be busy.
Thank you. Thank you, President. Moving on in the agenda, the Finance Committee and the Audit Committee each met today prior to this meeting. I will first ask Director Corcoran for your report on the Finance Committee, please.
Good morning, and thank you, Madam Chair. The Finance Committee met this morning and took action on 3 items. The first was the Finance Committee approved the minutes from March 12th, 2026. The Finance Committee then met and conducted its annual review and assessment of the Finance Committee charter. There were no proposed changes this year, and it's the recommendation of the committee that the full board re-adopt the charter, the Finance Committee charter. And so I would ask the Madam Chair to make a motion to do so.
Thank you, Director. I'll call for a motion to adopt the Finance Committee charter.
I'll make a motion to adopt the charter.
I'll second.
Great. I will then move to a vote to adopt the charter. I
Aye.
moved.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. We've adopted the charter.
Excellent. Thank you, Madam Chair. And the third item that we met on today was we were led to a presentation by Albert of the annual debt report, which was issued for the fiscal year ended March 31st, 2026. As always, Albert was very thorough, and we enjoyed the presentation and questions very much. So that being said, it is the recommendation of the Finance Committee that the annual report be accepted and approved by the full board upon presentation of item number 1 on the agenda today for the full board. And that concludes my report, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Director. Much appreciated. Director Kurzanski, can you please provide a report on the Audit Committee meeting?
You bet. We just had a meeting. We approved the minutes from April 16. We discussed the Audit Committee charter. We made no changes. And so I'd seek a vote to a vote to just re-adopt the Audit Committee charter.
Can I please have a motion to move to a vote to re-adopt the Audit Committee charter?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Thank you. We will now move to a vote. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the Audit Committee charter is adopted.
Thank you. A couple more things. We had a presentation. KPMG was here. Nice, conversation with them about the report for the year just ended. Very positive. Big kudos to Albert and Chris. So we appreciate their work. So we voted internally to move this to the board to accept and approve the auditor's report.
Wonderful. I will move for a motion to approve the auditor's report.
I'll make a motion.
Wonderful. Can I have a second,
I'll
please?
second.
Great. We'll go to a vote. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the auditor's report is adopted.
We also discussed the rotating the lead partner, but that was not required by the public authorities law this year. We have 2 more years to do that. We also discussed the internal audit function. This is required by the public authorities law to discuss and vote to either have, to adopt or not to adopt having an internal audit function. We voted in the committee not to pursue that. And I see here that we have to vote as a board, full board, to adopt or not adopt an internal audit function.
So we will call for a motion to accept the recommendation of the audit committee that the internal audit function is not required at this time.
I'll make that motion.
A second?
I'll second.
Wonderful. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. The recommendation to not move forward with an internal audit function at this time has been adopted.
Thank you. That concludes my report.
Wonderful. Okay, well, thank you very much. We'll move over this now. This now concludes the committee reports, and we will go to the board review of the committee's performance. We will seek to obtain the full consent of the full board that the governance committee is effective in fulfilling its responsibilities.
I'll make.
Do we have that consent?
Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
not sure we need a motion and a full vote
Okay,
on
great.
this. Actually, just procedurally, do we need a vote on this?
Yes.
Yes, okay, so we'll move for a, is there a motion to obtain the full consent of the board that the governance committee is in effect in fulfilling its responsibilities?
I'll make the motion that the governance committee is doing a great job under Vita's leadership.
Vita is,
I'll second.
well,
And I will
second, Vita
second
is
that.
doing an excellent job, as well as we can all attest for that. Okay, and then we will be voting now. Those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any
Aye.
opposed? Great. As required by the Finance Committee Charter, the Board of Directors is to conduct an annual review of the Finance Committee's performance. I'd like to obtain the consent of the full board that the Finance Committee is effective in its responsibilities. We will move that for a motion to a vote. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion for the finance committee.
And is there a second?
I'll second it.
Wonderful. Let's please move to a vote to obtain the consent that the board believes that the Finance Committee is effective in fulfilling its responsibility. Those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, we have the consent of the full board. As required by the Audit Committee Charter, the Board of Directors is to conduct an annual review of the Audit Committee's performance. Based on what we heard today, I'd like to obtain the consent of the full board that the Audit Committee is effective in fulfilling its responsibilities. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Hearing one, a second.
I'll second.
I would like to please move for a vote then. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. Great. Pursuant to the corporation's bylaw, each member of the committee shall serve until an annual meeting of the board and thereafter until they are reappointed or a successor's appointment. I am going to move forward to recommend the reappointment of the committee memberships. On the audit committee, we will continue to advance Charles Krasansky as chair, Francis Corcoran, Vita DiMarchi, oh my goodness, DiMarchi,
Marty.
oh my goodness, and Adam Jarofsky as members of the audit committee. On the finance committee, we will continue to have Francis Corcoran as chair, Vita, Charles, and Adam as members. And on the governance committee, continue to have Vita as chair with Francis, Charles, and Adam as members. I'd like to move for a motion to vote on these reappointment of committee memberships. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second, Madam
And
Chair.
a second. Okay, we will now vote to approve the reappointment of the committee memberships as I just read them. Those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Great.
Thank you.
All right, congratulations, everyone, and thank you for your continued service on those committees. It is much appreciated. Thank you for the great work.
You're welcome.
Moving on in our agenda here today, is there any unfinished business to discuss? I'm not hearing any. We will move on to the resolutions, starting with ID number 1. MJ, to please introduce ID number 1.
A resolution of the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation with respect to the review and approval of the annual debt report of the corporation.
Can I please have a motion to adopt the resolution?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second. Oh,
Wonderful. We have a motion and a second. Albert, can you please provide a presentation on the resolution?
Yes, thank you. So before the board is the annual debt report of the corporation for the year ended March 31st, 2026. There are 3 schedules on the report. The first schedule lists EFC's SRF debt by series, and there were 2 series issued in state fiscal year 2026. The first was series 25C under our New York water indenture with a total par of $369 million. This refunded series 2015A with a net present value savings of almost $11 million. And it also included new money for both clean water and drinking water utilizing a blend rate financing structure. The second series was 2026A, which was a standalone refunding of series 2016A under the New York water indenture with a total par of $235 million. And this series resulted in a total net present value savings of over $33 million. So big amount there. Second schedule lists EFC's debt issued under the industrial financing program, and there have been no changes since the prior year. Third schedule lists all costs of issuance paid under the 2 aforementioned series, 2025C and 2026A.
Thank you very much, Albert. Is there any discussion? Any questions?
No further questions from our committee.
Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Those in favor of adopting the resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, everyone. The resolution is adopted. Moving on to ID number 2. MJ, if you could please introduce the item.
A resolution of the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation accepting the financial statements of the corporation for the fiscal year ended March 31st, 2026.
Thank you. May I please have a motion to adopt the resolution? I see Vita wanting to, and Francis, you seem like you wanted to second.
Yeah, I know.
Great.
That would be a second.
All right, thank you very much. We'll turn it to Albert to please give a presentation on the resolution.
Sure. So for the board are the 2026 audited financial statements of the Environmental Facilities Corporation. EFC had another, great year of financial results and another clean audit pending KPMG's final sign off. Total net position increased by $603 million and was positive across all funds, including administrative funds. As we discussed during the budget and financial plan for the past few years, the primary driver has been increased project grant revenues from our IJA grants, as well as higher interest income on investments driven by higher rates across the board than we've had historically. And again, that's on both program and administrative funds. And we expect this trend to continue through the next year, at least when the last IJA grants will be exhausted in federal fiscal year 2026. A high level measure I always like to just use to test the sort of, all right, is this working the way it's supposed to? Is if you take our grant revenues plus our investment income, you take out grants dispersed, that should about match the change in our net position. And that figure was $639 million versus the total increase in net position of 603. And the difference is primarily subsidy that we provide to borrowers on financings. So, again, thank you to everyone for being such great stewards of this program that, it's shown in our financial statements.
That's wonderful. Thank you very much, Albert. It seems that we are functioning very well. And thank you for your great oversight to help ensure that. I'll move to a vote to adopt the resolution.
I
I'm
just
sorry,
wanna
is there any other
comment.
discussion, please?
Yeah, I just want to comment on how well put together the report always is every year. And I really do like going through it and reading it because it does tell, I mean, we're a financial institution. So in addition to all of the programs, this really puts the numbers to the programs and you really have everything in here and it's very well done. So I just appreciate the report.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Hear, hear.
the opportunity to comment.
Great reflections, Vita. I couldn't agree more. Any other discussion? Okay, we'll move to a vote for real now. Those in favor of adopting the resolution? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the resolution is adopted. Thank you very much. MJ, can you please introduce item number 3?
A resolution of the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation with respect to the annual review and approval of the investment guidelines and the investment report of the corporation.
Thank you, MJ. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution in a second?
So moved.
A second?
I'll second.
Wonderful. Albert, to you for a presentation of the resolution, please.
Thank you. So per our investment guidelines, an investment report is required to be submitted annually and reviewed by the board. So there are 5 items that are required. The first is the investment guidelines, which are attached to this resolution, to which there were no changes for this year. Second is the results of the annual audit, which were presented earlier by KPMG, and the financial statements that were approved in resolution number 1. Third is the investment income record, and this is the line titled investment income in the draft statement of revenues, expenses, and changes in net position, which totaled $166.6 million this year. Fourth, a list of fees, commissions, and charges paid to each bank, of which there were none. And fifth, an inventory of investments held by the corporation, which is attached to this report, and it lists our investments by account and investment type, along with a reconciliation to make sure that it matches our financial statements. That is the investment report.
Thank you, Albert. Any discussion on the investment report? I will move to adopt with a vote. Those in favor, please
Aye.
indicate.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Hearing none. Great, thank you.
Excuse me,
Please.
Chair, I'm gonna excuse myself from the meeting, but carry on. Thanks so much for the great reports. I'll be in. See you soon.
Thanks, Charlie.
Thank you, Director. Take care of yourself. I just want to confirm we still have quorum for this meeting.
Yes.
So we just for the record, I just want to indicate that we continue to have quorum and we will continue to carry out this meeting as we excuse Charlie. Thank you. Moving on to item number 4, MJ, if you could please introduce the item.
A resolution of the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation with respect to the annual review and approval of the corporation's guidelines for the disposition of property.
We will give Albert a break. First, we will call for a motion and then turn it to Maureen. So a motion to adopt the resolution?
I'll make. After you. I'll make a motion for the.
Second. Wonderful. And with that, Maureen, if you could please present on the resolution.
Thank you. Before you again this year are the guidelines for the disposition of property. Pursuant to Public Authorities Law, Section 2896, every authority must adopt by resolution its policy and instructions regarding the use, awarding, monitoring, and reporting of contracts for the disposal of property. Each authority shall publish a report listing all real property and include a list of property with a value of over $5,000 that was disposed of during that period. No changes were made to the guidelines this year, and no property with a value over $5,000 was disposed of. So
This is always pretty much the most boring.
Mm-hmm.
It's always the same.
told Albert I could repeat this in my sleep every day.
Next year, we're going to close your computer.
If I could do it.
You're on.
We'll test
Shannon.
it. Challenge accepted. Okay, can we please have I'm sorry, is there any discussion for Maureen? Any curveball we want to throw at her?
No, Madam Chair.
Hearing none, we will move to a vote. Those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, the resolution is passed. Thank you, Maureen. MJ, if you could please introduce ID number 5.
A resolution of the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation making certain determinations and authorizing certain actions in connection with the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund and authorizing financial assistance payments to certain municipalities to fund eligible drinking water projects from funds appropriated for water infrastructure improvement projects.
Thank you very much. I will call for a motion to adopt the resolution.
I'll make a motion.
Wonderful.
I'll second.
Great. And Dave, if you could please present on the resolution.
Okay, thank you. There are 10 drinking water projects before the board today. Total funding is 39.1 million. That includes 20.2 million in DWSRF financings, 8.3 million in DWSRF additional subsidy, and 10.6 million in state drinking water grants. First project is for the town of Alden in Erie County. This will be receiving a WIA grant. This is for the formation of the Cayuga Creek Water District. Work includes installation of 6,500 linear feet of water main, plus hydrants, valves, and meters. The project will provide public water to 76 residents currently on private wells, and the source will be a connection to the Erie County Water Authority. The next project is for the town of Delaware in Sullivan County. This is for long-term interest-free financing. The project included the town taking over ownership and management of the former privately owned Callicoon water system. The improvements were made to this system, which was 100 years old and had many deficiencies. That work included development of 2 new wells and a new treatment plant to replace the existing spring source and well sources that were deficient with poor quantity and quality, including determination of groundwater under the influence of surface water. The work also included a new storage tank to replace an aged tank, replacement of over 7,000 linear feet of deficient water main, plus valves and hydrants, and include installation of service meters for all connections. The third project is for the town of Esopus in Ulster County. This is an amendment to an existing finance for a cost increase. The work includes upgrades at the existing treatment plant and replacement of 3,000 linear feet of water main. The cost increase is needed due to higher than expected costs for the water main contract. The next project is for the town of Guilford in Shenango County. This is for an amendment. It'll amend the maturity date, give a time extension to August 2028. The project is for a new groundwater development to replace their previous surface source and treatment plant. The extension is needed due to delays related to the groundwater exploration and development. The next project is for the town of Lenox in Madison County. This is for a WIA grant. The project is for creation of the new town water district number 14, and work includes installation of 7,700 linear feet of water main, plus hydrants, valves, and meters. The project will provide public water to 36 residences currently on private wells, and the source will be a connection to the Onondaga County Water Authority. The next project is for the village of Margaretville in Delaware County. This is for a WIA grant in a DWSRF short-term market rate financing. The project includes a new 80,000 gallon tank to replace an aged tank with significant corrosion issues. It includes replacement of service meters and upgrades to the existing telemetry and control system, which is currently unreliable and outdated, and the upgrades will enhance the village's ability to control and automate their water system. The next project is for the village of Mexico in Oswego County. This is an amendment to extend the maturity date to December 2026. The work is for a new 500,000 gallon storage tank to replace an aged tank, and new water main to replace severely aged mains in critical areas of the system. This extension is needed to close out the short-term market rate financing before converting to long-term with rural development. The next project is for the town of Craftsville in Greene County. This is an amendment, which is for a time extension of the maturity date to September 2029. This project includes development of a new groundwater source to provide redundancy, and it's needed as a result of losing one of their wells as a result of the 2011 storms Irene and Lee. The time extension is needed to acquire easements for the wellhead protection. The next project is for the town of Skaneateles in Onondaga County. This is for a WIA grant. Project is for installation of 15,700 linear feet of water main and appurtenances. Includes a new 150,000 gallon storage tank and a new pump station. This project will address inadequate pressures in the western part of the town and will also extend public water to 36 residences currently inadequate private wells. And the last project is for the city of Troy in Rensselaer County. This includes IJA general supplemental grant and interest-free financing, as well as short-term market rate and short-term interest-free DWSRF financing. The project is for installation of a new corrosion control treatment system to replace the existing line feed system at the city's treatment plant. Project also includes new lab equipment and new structural repairs to the existing flocculation and sedimentation basins at the treatment plant. This corrosion control system is needed because the city is currently under EPA administrative orders and have been since 2023 for violation of the lead and copper rule due to the current insufficient treatment system. Any questions on any of those?
I was gonna say, it's good to see how the meter system's going in conjunction with the projects.
Funny you say that, Vita, because I was going to say Charlie's not here. He would have been proud of all these new meters.
Say that,
It's so
because that
funny you
is
said that.
definitely his push, yeah.
That's great. Thank you so much. Really exciting and important projects. Any other discussion on the projects or questions for Dave? Well, wonderful. We will then go to a vote. Those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, the resolution is adopted. Really excited to see those projects move forward. Congratulations. That is thrilling. Moving over to ID number 6, MJ, please.
Resolution of the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation making certain determinations and authorizing certain actions in connection with the Clean Water State Revolving Fund and authorizing financial assistance payments to certain municipalities to fund eligible clean water projects from funds appropriated for water infrastructure improvement projects.
Thank you, MJ. May I please have a motion to adopt the resolution in a second?
Moved, Madam Chair.
If you could please present on the resolution.
All right, thank you. Today we have 6 clean water projects before the board for approval for a total of $53.4 million in grants and financing. The proposed funding consists of $11.5 million in CWSRF grants, $8.6 million in state grants, and about $33.3 million in SRF financing. I will start off with a short-term financing for the Village of Athens in Greene County. Athens has a 400,000 gallon per day treatment plant that was built in 1971 and sees about 379,000 gallons per day. They began to violate their speedies permit average daily flow due to inflow and infiltration in the collection system. And we're required to develop and implement a flow management plan. Implementation of the flow management plan includes replacement of approximately 1,150 linear feet of sewer and replacing water lines on North Vernon Street, and then lining almost 2,400 feet of sewers on 2nd Street and South Franklin Street. The project also includes an EPA community grant from 2024 that will be used to replace clay sewers and cast iron water lines on Union Street. Construction is expected to start this summer in August and be complete in the summer of 2027. Next, we have a long-term financing for the Village of Champlain in Clinton County. Champlain has a 650,000 gallon per day treatment plant, and they were required to implement seasonal disinfection. In addition, some of the existing treatment equipment was at the end of its useful life. They installed a new UV disinfection equipment at the treatment plant, modified the grit removal system, replaced some valves in the aeration and digestion tanks, a new belt filter press, and replaced the sludge drying beds with sand filters. Also installed a new SCADA system for control of the plant. This project received an engineering planning grant award in 2019, and construction was complete in September of 2025. Then we have a short-term financing with 2024 WIA and IJA grants for the Village of Endicott in Broome County. Endicott has a 10 million gallon per day treatment plant that serves the village as well as portions of the towns of Union and Vestal. The treatment plant is required to meet strict permit limits to comply with the Chesapeake Bay Total Maximum Daily Load, or TMDL. And in 2025, the village received a consent order for total nitrogen violations. To address these violations, the village will make improvements to the trickling filter and secondary clarifiers and install a moving bed biofilm reactor and a new supplemental carbon storage and feed system. This project also had an engineering planning grant from 2019. Construction is expected to start later in 2027 and be complete in 2029. Next, we have a short-term financing with 2023 WIA grant for the Village of Honey Eye Falls in Monroe County. Honey Eye Falls has a 600,000 gallon per day treatment plant. It was originally constructed in 1930. DEC is in the process of modifying the village's speedies permit, and it is anticipated the permit limits will be modified and made more strict. The project will include improvements necessary to address the modified permit limits. Additionally, some of the processes within the treatment plant do not meet current design standards or are reaching the end of their useful life and will be upgraded as necessary. This project had received an engineering planning grant in 2021 prior to the initiation of speedies permit modifications. Construction is expected to start in the spring of 2027 and be complete in the fall of 2028. We then have a short-term financing with a SWIFT grant for Oneida County. Oneida County's 54 million gallon per day plant serves 15 municipalities throughout the county, including the city of Utica. The county is currently disinfecting with sodium hypochlorite and using sodium bisulfite for dechlorination. They received a new lower total residual chlorine limit. And in order to meet that limit, they're going to stop using chlorine and switch to UV disinfection. The chlorine contact tanks will be retrofitted to hold the new UV system, along with a new hydraulic lift system for maintenance and a building to protect the equipment. This project is expected to start construction in July and be complete by next spring. Finally, we have a project in the town of Wilna in Jefferson County. This is a 2024 WIA grant only project. Wilna has a very small 12,650 gallon per day treatment plant that serves the hamlet of Herrings, and the town was required to implement effluent disinfection. They are adding a chlorine disinfection system and a 2,000 gallon chlorine contact tank. They're also replacing the sand in their sand filters and installing a new sand filter dosing system. This project had an engineering planning grant from 2019. Construction started in 2024 and was completed in August of 2025. Any questions on these projects?
I was just gonna say, it's almost all of how many engineering planning grants we have now, how queued up they are
A lot.
from when we started that program.
We do 60 to 70 a year
Yeah,
of engineering planning grants that we're putting out there, and a lot of them turn into
I've just watched them come more and more frequently over the years.
Yeah.
and how useful they've been for us. Yeah,
No, the community's very much like them.
and I just have one question. On Oneida County, they're gonna reuse the tanks for, did I miss that?
Yeah, the chlorine contact tank, they're basically gonna rip out the baffles that are in it and install the pour new concrete in it.
You've
and
seen that done
install
before? I must have missed that
can be
before,
done,
yeah.
A lot of the UV units are submerged, well, they had to be submerged
Anyway.
in the water, so there's, yeah. So yes, that works.
I guess I never noticed that in any of our other projects. I would have caught that.
I'm sure they looked at a variety of options. It's a 54 million gallon per day plant. It's
Yeah, it's big,
everything's a good size.
right? So you
If you
can,
can reuse a tank, reuse
Yeah.
a tank.
very good. Thank you.
So,
Maybe just a more so reflections and questions. I'll say that, many of these projects, not only are they great examples of the engineering planning grants, which I do agree are so useful and meaningful for many communities that don't always have the capacity necessary to keep up with these systems, but also great examples of where we're leveraging other funds. We talked about how WQIP, another plug for WQIP for people to apply for those funds. Several of these projects, including the Clinton County and Broome projects, have received WQIP funding as well. Including the disinfection at the Village of Champlain was a WQIP project. So just really good complements of these different tools in the toolbox to help support these local communities. So apply for WQIP. And I did just want to confirm for Honeyoo, at this point, we're releasing funds related to engineering costs, not necessarily construction. Is that right?
right.
Okay. Thank you for that. Any other questions or comments on these items?
Good, sweet.
Well, thank you so much, Bill. Wonderful. Then I will call for a vote on these really exciting projects. Those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the resolution is adopted. Wonderful. Congratulations. That is great. And we are now at item number 7. MJ, if you could please introduce ID number 7.
A resolution of the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation authorizing the president of the corporation or her designee to negotiate and enter into a contract for document collection and site visit services.
Wonderful. May I please have a motion to adopt the resolution?
I'll make a motion.
Any second?
I'll second it.
Wonderful. I will turn it Bill, please, for a resolution.
All right, thank you. EFC has historically conducted site visits to see the construction at our projects firsthand. In addition, in order to help us confirm that the contractors are complying with program requirements, we collect various documents such as American Iron and Steel certifications and certified payroll. We have a lot of projects that we're working on. It's a large state. And for several years, we have used a contractor to assist us with these efforts. The current contract expires at the end of July. An RFQ was noticed earlier this year, and we've selected a firm to assist us with this effort, and that contract is before the board for approval. The contract is for 3 years with 2 one-year extensions, the same as we've done in the past. Also note that the contract that's ending, the consultant did a total of 91 site visits and 72 document collections. Some of the document collections were to assist the Department of Health with projects that were going into leveraged financings. The rest of it was for clean water. Total billings were just under $750,000. So are there any questions on this contract?
Any discussion on the resolution?
No, Madam Chair.
Francis? Christine?
No.
I'll just say that, we at DEC understand the value and need for this and have appreciated the good coordination between our water team and leveraging this consultant with EFC. And I think it's important to continue. So thanks, Bill.
Thank you.
With that, we'll call for a vote. Those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, the resolution is adopted. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
We're gonna move on to new business. I meant to say in my chair report also that the Resilient Watershed Grants application is also open right now until June 26th. And this is a great program that is focused on reducing risk from flooding for communities. We are in our second round. And this has been a really, really wonderful program so far. So just noting that that is out there. Is there any other new business? Wonderful. I had originally intended to move us into executive session, which we indicated we were going to do at our last board meeting to continue a discussion with the full board coming off of the governance committee. Since Charlie had to excuse themselves, I instead am going to suggest that we go into executive session during our August meeting, hopefully when we capture also more members in person, so that we could have that discussion that we were intended to. Any concerns with that from fellow board members here?
No, none at all.
Okay. Well, then with that, I will move to adjourn the meeting. The next meeting of the Board of Directors will be held on Thursday, August 6th at 10:30. I believe we committed last session as much as practical to try and capture as much board as we can here in person. So that will be a wonderful opportunity for us to be together. And I will move to adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Well, I'll second your motion and
Please, I'm sorry, Francis, we didn't hear you. Say again?
I said I seconded your motion to adjourn.
Wonderful.
Oh, I thought he was adding something.
Yeah.
I know you're saying so. My apologies, Francis. Well, with that, we will adjourn the meeting. Thank you so much, everybody, today. We so appreciate it. It's wonderful to see everybody.
Do we need to vote on that?
Do we
Thank
need
you
to
all.
vote to adjourn? Those in favor of adjourning the meeting? Any
Aye.
opposed? Hearing none. Great. Thank you. Thank you for
Thank you
that,
all.
Christine.